Hey everyone, my name is Tim Royers. I'm the president of the Nebraska State Education Association, and I wanted to give you an update on where we are with the retirement bill that's currently introduced in the legislature, LB645. And thankfully, I'm giving you this update because we have really good news to share. Before I get to that good news, though, I have to start by profusely thanking all of you that wrote emails, called in, wrote letters, physically met with lawmakers here at the Capitol, because it made a huge difference. In fact, we would not be here delivering this good news without you using your voice the way that you did to help those lawmakers see that we need to build a better version of this bill that puts the educators of the state at the forefront of what it intends to do. So you're getting this update because at the end of last week, Senator Ballard, who is the chair of the Retirement Committee and the author of LB645, introduced an amendment, AM 248, you can look it up if you want to dive deep into the specifics, that basically is a version 2.0 of the bill. And this amendment was introduced as a result of us having several meetings with Senator Ballard and his staff, with the retirement, with NPERS, and with the governor's staff. So this was very much a collaborative effort, and we're really excited for what's come out. The general premise remains the same, that basically it's going to set up these triggers depending on how well funded the plan is. So if NPERS is less than 96% funded, essentially there's no change whatsoever. The state will continue to pay in its 2%. We continue to pay our 9.78%. No difference. If it's above 96% funded, but not at 100% funded, the state puts in a little bit less. So not the 2%, it'll put in 0.7%. That's not random, by the way. That was what they used to contribute. And then if it's above 100%, the state does not make any contribution. Now, that part generally is similar to what the original version of the bill is. The part we're excited about is the part that says, if the plan is above 96% funded, which it is right now, then public school employees that pay into NPERS would see their contribution rate go down to 7.28%. Meaning, if this amendment gets adopted, and if the bill becomes law, starting on January 1st of 2026, every public school employee under NPERS would see a 2.5% pay raise in terms of their net take-home pay, right? Because that's 2.5% less that you're having to put into the retirement system. That's huge. And if you remember the video we recorded last time, that's what we were looking for the whole time. We don't mind if the state dials down its contribution because our plan is doing well, but we need to make sure that our educators are seeing their contribution dialed down as well, which is exactly what AM 248 does. There are a few other options that we're exploring that we would potentially do in addition to that. But we don't want to commit to them until they've been studied, right? We want to make sure that any proposal we make goes through the actuarial review, so that way we know that we still have a healthy plan 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, right? So there could be even more, but we're waiting on that review to get completed. So again, that's the good news. Your advocacy worked. We've had several good meetings. They listened to our recommendations. And now this bill, if the amendment is adopted, is a bill that would potentially give all educators under NPERS a 2.5% increase in net take-home pay. And that's awesome. So here's where I want to end this video then. I have one ask of you. You used your voice to demand change. I think it's important that we show lawmakers that when they're willing to work with us and partner with us, that they get the credit they deserve. So if you reached out to your specific state senator, obviously encourage them to support the amendment. But I would ask that you reach out and thank two people in particular. Please thank Senator Conrad. She's a member of the Retirement Committee, and she was with us on day one on this issue. She filed several motions to try and stop the original bad version of the bill. She was very publicly vocal on the need to have a bill that put educators first when it comes to retirement. So please make sure to thank her for her vocal advocacy and support. But also, we need to make sure we thank the chair of the Retirement Committee, Senator Ballard. Because again, he met with us personally, he listened to our input, this amendment was crafted with our input, and he didn't have to do that, right? He didn't have to listen to our input, and he did. And so I think, again, we need to make sure that we are, just as we're critical when a bad policy gets put forward, we need to thank the folks who put good policies forward, and this is good policy. So please make sure to thank Senator Ballard, the chair of the Retirement Committee, for making this amendment, for listening to our perspective, for honoring your voices. And the same is true with the governor's team, right? The governor's team was very willing to listen to our recommendations as well, and they deserve credit for that. So again, this is great news. Our advocacy worked. We're not done yet. This hasn't even had a hearing yet, right? And everything still has to get voted on, but we are in a much better spot than we were when I last made a video on this, and I wanted all of you to know that. So thank you for the part that you did to make this happen, and I'm excited to give you more positive updates in the future. Thank you.